Hey guys, Havok here, and welcome back to Nerd Realm. Today we're going to be talking about Nintendo's newest console, the Nintendo Switch, which hits market this Friday. Now, a lot of review sites have already gotten their review copies. Like normal people, we got to wait till Friday, in which I'm going to be picking mine up, as well as a copy of Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, in which I will be doing a live unboxing this Friday, live on Facebook. You'll be able to see it at Lagging Out Entertainment's Facebook page at www.facebook.com/lagging as well as you'll be able to see it on the Nerd Realm Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Nerd Realm. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's coming. It's a console handheld hybrid, and a lot of places are already starting to say it's not graphically superior than the PS4 or the Xbox One or even the Pro and even the upcoming Scorpio, which not necessarily a bad thing as long as the games work, as long as the games are fun. I think that should be the most important thing we should be looking at, and not, whether or not it's photorealistic in your face. I mean, personally, I just want to be able to play Mario in a very high end way, like I would play on my TV, and be able to take it with me on the go. And that's what the Switch is bringing. It's bringing AAA blockbuster, presentation, and bringing it to you on the go. Like this fall, we're going to be having Skyrim hit the Switch. Now, Bethesda's being tight-lipped on whether or not it's going to be the special edition that was just released back in, I believe, October, November, or it's going to be just a port of the original game. It hasn't been confirmed. Bethesda, like I said, is being tight-lipped about it. Now, as far as internal memory is concerned, the Wii, not the Wii U, this is the predecessor to the Wii U. The Switch is going to come with a 32 gigabyte internal flash memory, which is expandable via micro SD card to up to 2 terabytes as soon as those cards exist. Now, I think the highest they have right now is 128 gigabytes. I may be mistaken on that. But still, just the fact that they're looking ahead as far as memory. And what's cool is the console's going back to cartridge base. It's going to be roughly about, they might be a little bit bigger than this. This is a 3DS video game right here. And they're going back to cartridges very similar to this, which is going to go into the console, and you'll be able to play that, which is negating the ever loving trend started back in the PS3 and Xbox 360 days. Well, not so much the 360, more to the PS3, where you had to install, full games like this, especially in this generation where they can go anywhere from 30 to 60 gigabytes onto your hard drive, which at base is 500 unless you got external hard drives and all that. So, I mean, going back to cartridges is going to negate the ability of having to install, which is a nice feature. It's not going to fill up a whole thing. Like the base memory of 32 gigabytes, about 16 gigabytes has been confirmed for Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Now, moving forward, Nintendo is going to be joining the online presence of presenting an online service, which you're going to have to pay for. Which the service will be free up until about Q3, and then it's going to be a certain amount that you'll have to pay. When like it's either going to be 20 or the new standard of 25, which is kind of like what the cards are right now. Probably that'll probably for 3 months. Probably $10 is usually the standard for like a month. That's what Xbox Live and even the PlayStation Network even go by is $9.99 a month, similar to the WWE Network. But some of the benefits that are going to come with it, which has already kind of met a little bit of controversy, is the fact that Nintendo's going to be giving you an NES or a Super Nintendo title to play for about 30 days for free, and then after that, it's removed from your hard drive. That's been met with a little bit of opposition, just because of the fact that a lot of gamers want something for free, at least for the paid service, and I think Nintendo might go ahead and do the switch around on that and allow that to actually become more present as far as giving something for free for you having the service, similar to what Xbox and PlayStation's doing. However, they're going to be needing to make money on the Virtual Console, which sadly will not be available at launch. more than likely Nintendo's probably gathering their resources, find out how they're going to reward people who have bought the Wii and the Wii U, who already have virtual console games they want to bring over to the new console. Which is what I am really, really hoping they figure out how to do, because I have a lot of virtual console games on my Wii U that I would like to transfer over. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a little bit more on that, but more on the fact of the whole 30 days of playing a Super Nintendo or an NES game. Honestly, depending on the title, I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal, mainly because of the fact that how many times can you play Mario Brothers in a lifetime, or that you're going to be like, oh, well, that 30 days, I would have really liked to hold on to that. I mean, I have to be in the mood to play Mario Brothers 1. Mario Brothers 3 and World, they sign me up. I'll play that any day. But honestly, whether or not they decide to whether they want to give something away for free, and plus it's also going to be about pricing. I mean, how many times do you really, really, really want to buy Mario Brothers 1 again? Now, Legend of Zelda, okay, I can probably go that far. Zelda 2, I don't want it. But more than likely, I think we're overanalyzing what Nintendo is supposed to be bringing to the table of what Microsoft and what Sony has done, and not looking at it. The big picture is that Nintendo's bringing something different, which I believe is something that's missing in the video game community now, is doing something different, something out of the box that really hasn't been done. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 3DS is a great system, but it hasn't really brought that AAA experience. You're not going to get, I know it's a different system, but you're not going to get a bona fide console experience like Halo onto a handheld. And I think that's what the Switch is going to allow us to do, is to bring those type of quality, games, those big blockbuster games. And I think that's what Breath of the Wild is going to be bringing, is bringing that on the go. And yes, the battery is not going to last long. It's about 3 to 6 hours, depending on the game. While that is an oversight, I'm sure there's going to be people online who have found countermeasures, maybe lower down the brightness a little bit. People that are able to kind of MacGyver, ways to control the battery usage. And plus, not that you have your car charger, there's going to be different chargers available, if not at launch, a little bit later on. And so the battery issue is not going to be that big of a deal, and I'm sure there's going to be ways to maybe increase it. Like the Wii U had terrible battery, but at launch there was, I think Energizer had a battery pack accessory that you could buy, and you could swap out the battery for a stronger battery. I think we're going to get that later on. And the launch systems, just like all the launch systems, everyone gives crap to launch systems, but you got to get your install base somewhere. I mean, they know, hey, you know what? I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, you know what? Battery life was probably not the weakest part of our system. We need to, at least on future models, we need to increase that or something. And I'm sure they'll have something in place. Nintendo's not a dumb company, unlike what most people think. I mean, they've hit their losses, they took their losses, and they doubled back and wanted to do something different. They're not exactly competing with Microsoft. They're not competing with Sony. They're doing something a little different, just like with the NES Classic. I mean, they didn't exactly re-release the NES. They just decided to say, hey, you know what? Let's re-release it, and let's just do it something. It's a novelty, and I think that's where they're taking their best attributes as far as the handheld market, and saying, hey, you know what? Let's bring consoles on the go. And I think that's the most important thing that a lot of people are missing, is that Nintendo's bringing us something that really we didn't think was going to be possible, of bringing such AAA games over. So hopefully a lot of third-party developers do see that and jump on board. There's a lot of third-party support already coming to Nintendo Switch. So, I mean, time will tell of what this thing is going to be capable of doing. And while, yes, everyone's looking to a 4K experiences now, sometimes you just need something different. And I hope the jump to 4K, which is going to make gaming more expensive to make, at least games more expensive to make is what I should say. I think cost-wise, as far as budget, I think doing something for Nintendo Switch might actually be something as a different token. So hopefully we'll see what's going to happen in the meantime. Uh, Mythic will be back with us next week on our next show. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we're back. So good night and nerd on.